I wasn't supposed to be the girl who brought down billionaires. I was just supposed to finish my shift, roll my aching feet out of that greasy diner, and pray my card didn't get declined on rent again. But the night I walked outside with a cup of soup and said one word in Korean to a stranger sitting in the rain, my whole life snapped in half. My name is Tia Coleman, 29 night shift waitress at Maple and Main out in Queens. Broke tired and running on diner coffee and attitude. You know what I mean. I wasn't looking for trouble, I was just trying to survive. It was one of those ugly, cold nights where the rain doesn't fall normal. It slices sideways and I'm wiping down counter 6 when I see him out the window across the street on that busted green bench, not moving. At first I think he's sleeping, but then I notice his coat, expensive wool, not something you buy at Goodwill, and those shoes, real leather soaking in street water, like he doesn't even feel it. He looks like somebody's grandfather, like somebody who used to matter, and for some reason, that got under my skin worse than the cold. I told my boss, Carl, he's not okay. I need to bring him something hot. And Carl doesn't even look up from counting cash. He just barks, "We are not a shelter, Tia. You walk outside with my food, you don't walk back in. And you gotta understand something, that man had no problem reminding me I was replaceable, like he hired me out of pity, not because half his staff walks out every other week." I try again, I tell him, he's gonna freeze out there. And Carl snaps, "Not our problem," grabs the to-go bag right out of my hands and jerks it so hard I slip, burn my wrist on spilled soup, fall on the tile in front of everybody. You ever feel anger so sharp it feels clean? That was the moment. I stood up, grabbed another cup, filled it with fresh lentil, like my hands weren't still shaking. Dropped my last crumpled dollar tip by the register and told him, "Then fire me." And he goes, "Done," like he's proud. Cool. Now I'm unemployed and walking out in the rain for a man I don't even know. I cross the street, knees already soaked, steam from the soup blowing in my face, and I kneel in front of him and say real soft, "Sir, can you hear me?" And at first, nothing, just that slow, empty stare people get when the world stopped being kind to them. A long time ago, then he whispers something quiet, broken. "Annyeong, hasa," Korean. That hit me right in the throat because my foster mother, Grace Min, used to talk to me in Korean. When I was a kid, she'd make me practice little phrases. She'd say, "Language is how you tell someone they still belong here." And without thinking, I answer him, "Annyeong hasayo," and his eyes snap up to mine like I just pulled him out of water. I'm telling you that look. That's the moment this stopped being a random act of kindness and became personal. He starts breathing harder, shaking, and I'm like, "Okay, stay with me, I got you. And I don't care that my hair is plastered to my face, I don't care." Carl is probably cheering that I'm gone. I wave down a cab like my life depends on it. We get him to St. Luke's ER. He's freezing, disoriented. No wallet, no phone, no ID. Can't tell them where he lives. Nothing. And all the nurses are already moving on to the next emergency, because that's how it is in city hospitals. If you don't have a name, you don't have a story, and if you don't have a story, you're just paperwork. So I stayed. I sat in that uncomfortable plastic chair all night, with a throbbing wrist and soup stains on my shirt, because deep down I knew it. If I left, he'd disappear. And I don't mean die, I mean disappear like he never existed. Morning comes. Doctor tells me he had a mild stroke. Hypothermia, dehydration, like his body was just finished. And I'm standing by his bed. When he wakes up again, blinks at the ceiling, then looks at me, really looks, and he whispers, "Grace." And my heart about falls out of my chest. I go, "What did you say?" And he swallows like it hurts and says, "Grace, Min." And I'm just standing there shaking, because that is my foster mother, the woman who raised me, fed me, kept me from getting chewed up by the system. The only person on this planet who ever made me feel like I was worth more than my paycheck. I lean in and I tell him, "How do you know her?" And he squeezes my hand with all the strength he has left and says, "She saved me a long time ago." And then, like he's dragging the words up from the bottom of a well, he tells me his name. My name is Elias Park. I swear to you, I almost laughed like, yeah, right, because I know that name. Everybody knows that name. Elias Park, founder of Solaran Industries, the guy magazines call the ghost engineer, the clean energy billionaire who supposedly died in a plane crash 6 months ago and caused an international panic on Wall Street. Except he is lying right in front of me alive in a hospital gown, with no ID, and rainwater still dried in his eyebrows. That's when the suits show up. 3 of them sharp coats talking like they own oxygen. One woman steps forward, smooth voice, fake smile. "Miss Coleman, I appreciate what you've done. I'll take it from here." And she slides an envelope across the little rolling tray like we're in a boardroom, not an emergency room. Non-disclosure agreement. Cash offer. "Sign this and you never speak about what you saw tonight." She says, "It's for Mr. Park's privacy and your protection." I looked her dead in the face and I said, "Lady, you could have just said hush money and saved us both time." And her smile twitched for half a second. And she goes, "You don't understand the scale of this." And I go, "You're right. I'm just a waitress who just got fired for caring about a human being. So explain it to me like I'm stupid." And she leans in and whispers, "Walk away. People who don't walk away from situations like this tend to regret it." And I'm thinking this woman just threatened me in a hospital. Like that's normal, like I'm supposed to be scared because she talks in lawyer voice. I pushed the papers back to her and said, "No." And she goes cold, like ice water. Cold. And I swear I feel... Elias squeezed my hand again, like even half-conscious he's telling me don't fold. That's when I realized something. This isn't just a missing person, it's an abduction and a cover-up. Over the next day and a half, between scans and IV drips and nurses trying to kick me out, little pieces start coming back to him. He tells me about a meeting he had the night he went missing, how someone he trusted handed him a drink that made his vision go white around the edges, how he woke up somewhere cheap by the docks with his head splitting, how his wallet, his watch, everything was gone. He remembers a name, too. Eclipse. He keeps saying, "Eclipse file." They can't launch it. It's not